Welcome to World Pulse New. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. A government shutdown is what happens when politics fails. In the US, Congress must pass spending bills to keep federal agencies running. When they can't agree by October 1st, the money stops, and the government grinds to a halt. Non-essential services are suspended. Hundreds of thousands of federal employees are furloughed. The current crisis began at 8:01 p.m. Alaska Daylight Time on October 1, 2025, when the deadline passed without a deal. Deep partisan divides in Congress over spending priorities created an impasse. No compromise, no funding. The failure to pass even a temporary funding bill plunged the nation into uncertainty. This shutdown isn't just a political game. It has immediate severe consequences for millions, from national parks to federal offices. The US has faced shutdowns before, but they're becoming more frequent and longer. The record, 35 days in 2018-2019. That event showed how quickly impacts spread from federal workers to the broader economy. Now, as of October 3, 2025, the nation is again navigating the fallout of a political stalemate. Essential services must continue, but essential is a legal gray area. Some employees are forced to work without pay, others are furloughed. This creates a two-tiered system of hardship: those without work, and those working without pay. For Alaska, which relies heavily on federal services, the consequences are magnified. A national problem becomes an acute local crisis. The machinery of the state has ground to a halt, and Alaskans are feeling it first. Alaska's airports are ground zero for the shutdown's impact. State-owned airports like Ted Stevens International depend on federal partners for security and air traffic control. When the shutdown hit, that partnership was thrown into chaos. TSA and FAA employees are required to work, but their paychecks have stopped. The strain is already visible. Longer security lines, stressed staff, and warnings to arrive hours early. The smooth coordination that keeps airports running is being replaced by uncertainty. Every delayed flight and frustrated passenger is a direct result of political paralysis. As the shutdown drags on, the pressure mounts. Staffing shortages loom. Unpaid workers may call in sick or quit, risking dangerously long lines or even flight cancellations. For Alaska, where air travel is a lifeline, the stakes couldn't be higher. The system is fraying, and the clock is ticking. The shutdown is a human crisis for Alaska's 11,658 federal workers. They're not faceless bureaucrats. They're neighbors, friends, and family. Some are furloughed without pay, legally barred from working. Others, deemed essential, must work without a paycheck. This includes TSA agents and air traffic controllers, people responsible for public safety, now under immense financial stress. Many live paycheck to paycheck, forced to dip into savings, rack up debt, or seek help from food banks. For families with two federal workers, the blow is catastrophic. The uncertainty and anxiety are constant. The American Federation of Government Employees has filed a lawsuit, arguing that forcing people to work without pay violates labor laws. But while the legal battle unfolds, Alaskans keep showing up for work, upholding their duty, even as their government fails them. The hidden cost eroded morale and financial security among those who keep the country running. The shutdown's injustice is felt most by those on the front lines. The strain on federal workers is now spilling over to travelers. Security lines at Alaska's airports are growing longer, with some passengers told to arrive up to 4 hours early. Delays and cancellations are rippling across the system, as air traffic controllers work without pay and staffing shortages loom. Booking a flight has become a gamble. Will your plane depart on time or at all? The confidence that underpins air travel is eroding. Airlines and passengers alike are caught in the chaos, with missed flights and mounting frustration. The public, who had no part in creating this crisis, are bearing the brunt. In Alaska, aviation isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Unlike the lower 48, most Alaskan communities aren't connected by road. Planes deliver mail, food, medicine, and more. Kids fly to school, doctors fly to patients, supplies arrive by air. When federal aviation services are compromised, it's not just holiday plans at risk, it's survival. Disruptions mean empty shelves, delayed medicine, and isolated communities. The shutdown threatens the entire supply chain, from major airports to remote airstrips. Pilots depend on federal weather reports and navigation aids, now at risk due to furloughs and unpaid staff. Alaska's vulnerability is unique. The shutdown is a threat to public health, safety, and the economy. For many, a grounded flight is a crisis, not an inconvenience. The political games in Washington have immediate, life-altering consequences here. The shutdown isn't just an airport problem, it's a threat to Alaska's way of life. The stakes are existential. The airport crisis is piling onto an already strained aviation system. Recent IT outages at Alaska Airlines showed how fragile the system is, even in normal times. Now, the shutdown has crippled federal agencies responsible for safety and oversight. The NTSB, which investigates accidents, is mostly shut down, meaning crucial evidence could be lost if disaster strikes. FAA safety inspectors and cybersecurity experts are furloughed or unpaid, leaving gaps in routine oversight. The aviation industry relies on constant vigilance and improvement, now that safety net is gone. The cumulative effect: a heightened risk environment, with no margin for error. The Alaska Airlines outage was a warning. The shutdown is dismantling the very systems meant to keep us safe. We're gambling with public safety for political ends. The chaos at airports is just the start. The shutdown's damage reaches every corner of Alaska. Military families are working without pay, while on-base support services close. National parks are shuttered, hurting tourism and leaving wilderness areas unprotected. Administrative functions, from benefit processing to loan verifications, are paused, leaving people in limbo. The closure of federal touchpoints creates widespread disruption and frustration. The shutdown is closing community centers, locking park gates, and causing financial distress for thousands. The longer it lasts, the deeper the damage. Alaskans aren't staying silent, they're demanding action. Unions and advocates are urging Congress to end the shutdown, highlighting the hardship and risks. Lawsuits challenge the legality of forcing essential employees to work without pay. For Alaska, the stakes are uniquely high. Connectivity, supply chains, and safety are all at risk. The longer the shutdown, the greater the danger of catastrophic failure. The solution lies with Congress. Lawmakers must set aside partisanship and fund the government. The health, safety, and economic stability of Alaska and the nation depend on it. The voices of stranded travelers and unpaid workers must be heard. It's time to end this self-inflicted wound and restore the services Americans deserve. The time for governance is now.